back to special stage and to our live coverage of round 4 of the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. This is the Kielder Forest Rally. And we're into the 4th stage of the day. It's the second running of the stage that you saw earlier on. I'm going to give you a rundown of our overall and class leaderboards. Matthew Hurst definitely did lead the way at the moment. Seconds ahead after 3 stages of Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn, our reigning champions in that Mango Go Fiesta. Aaron Newby, Jamie Edwards, currently 3rd place. Just a second back though from that Rally 2 Fiesta up ahead. And now we've got the microphone on, you can probably hear me a little better. Aaron Newby, Jamie Edwards, just a second back from Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn. So there's a fight on for the podium places here, and just behind them, Alistair Ginley and Craig Thorley, 5 seconds back. Russ Thompson, Stephen Link, who've been going so well today, getting a further 9 seconds back. The top 5 separated by 35 seconds. It's nothing after 3 stages here in the killer Kielder Forest Complex. We've got another 7.5 miles to go. We're about 4 miles, just over 4 miles into this 4th stage of the day. Yarrow Mill once again, Muckledod Hill up next, and Shepherd's Shield in the same order that we had this morning. This second loop of stages this afternoon, and we're going to bring you the whole entry once again, starting as we did earlier with the Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star and the historic competitors in reverse seeded order before we go to the Gold Star and the Silver Star, the main field in correct seeded order. 2 live streams, the whole entry this afternoon. 1 more live stage here in the Kielder Forest Rally. It's round 4 of the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. And wow, what a battle we've got on our hands. So that's the main order at the moment. That's the overall battle for the lead. Boyd Kershaw, Keegan Rees leading the way in the Silver Star. Robert Goff, Paul Morris in 2nd place. Bit of a gap back to that historic Escort at the moment, but a big charge from them all the same. Rob Wright, Mark Fisher in 3rd place. 17 back from Rob Goff and Paul Morris. So that could all change through the afternoon. Robert Proudlock, Stephen Brown on an identical time to Rob Wright and Mark Fisher. Overall, this is after 3 stages, after the first leg this morning, and the crews have been back for service, and they'll be back out with fire in their bellies, and hopefully a sandwich or 2 as well for the afternoon stages. It's cooled down a bit. We've got a bit of a breeze here, which is pleasant for us. It's going to be a bit nicer in those cars as well. Not quite as hot and sweaty as it was this morning. It's still warm though. Ideal rally conditions, ideal rally TV conditions here in Killer Kielder. An historic event this, of course. More on that later. Russ Thompson leading the way in B13 from that cracking 5th place overall position. Robert Goff with that position in the Silver Star, as you might imagine, leading the way in the BTRDA Historic Cup, the Jordan Road Servicing Historic Cup here in the BTRDA at the moment. Ernie Graham, Karen Graham behind in their Mark 1 RS 1600. Then it's Steve Corky Ward and Phil Sandham battling for Historic Cup honours. Just scanning through the class results. You can do the same thing, by the way, at btrdarallyresults.co.uk. And in the Fuchs Lubricants BTRDA Bronze Star overall order at the minute, well, it's as you might have expected, given the pace this morning and the pace we've seen from them so far this season as well. Nigel and Kaz Jenkins ahead by 27 seconds from Chris Greenall. James Greenall alongside in that similar Nova. 27 seconds then the gap there back, and then 44 back to Lewis Hooper and Rhys Edwards back on the stages after their pretty big shunt on the Border Counties rally in that Rally First Spec Micra. Good to see them back out, and that confidence hasn't taken much of a knock. Paddy Homan, Tom Homan in the Ford Pupa, 4th place there, 20 seconds back. Ashley Francis Adams and Lucy Wilding are only 5 back actually from the Puma in their Micra, so possibly a bit of a battle to watch out for there as well. So as I say, 7.5 miles to go through this, the fourth stage of the day. 2 more stages left before our crews return to the finish at Hexham Auction Mart in Hexham. If you do fancy getting along to the finish and sampling some of the atmosphere, it's a great location, plenty of parking down there, and the crews, I'm sure, would be pleased to have some spectators down there to enjoy those finish celebrations. There have been plenty of spectators on the stages with us here today, actually, which has been fantastic. And thank you to you if you've been tuned in from home. You know what? You count as a spectator as well. Here we go then, the first of our 1400 and historic competitors coming through in reverse seeded order on your entry list. A reminder, we are covering the story of the MRF Tyres BTRD8 Rally Championship. That is where our narrative is, that's what we're focusing on. The class positions, the overall title fights as we come to this 4th round of the season. One more to go and then it's the summer break before we head back out for action in September for the final 3 rounds of the series. Will Banks then leading us away with Sean Hughes alongside in that 1400C Nova. They were going well this morning. 7th overall in the Bronze Star. 26 seconds back from Luke Watts and Matt Rogers in the MGZR up ahead, so in a bit of a no man's land at the moment, but there's 3 stages left. The surface is newly graded in places, it's pretty sharp, quite a lot of rocks. You wouldn't rule punctures out this afternoon, not that we would wish that on anybody. Will Banks ran out of fuel on the 2nd round of the championship, the Rally Nut stages, so it doesn't even take a puncture to slow that Nova down from time to time. But again, we're hoping there won't be any such problems here today. Let us know where you're watching from today. We will get to your comments where we can. Kaz and Nigel Jenkins waiting in the queue to start the rally, posting on Facebook a view out of the windscreen. I believe... No, I'm not going to guess who that car, I can't quite tell who that is in front, actually. It's Dave Forrest, Jamie Forrest, perhaps, actually. The Escort just in front of the Nova, waiting to start the stage. Just wishing everyone a good afternoon run. Whether we are helping to entertain you while you're doing the decorating or the housework at home, perhaps you're working on your own rally car or project car, or perhaps we're just acoustic wallpaper while you're out shopping or doing something else, we are delighted to have you with us. Do let us know where you're watching from. George Miko welcoming us back for the 2nd time around today. Jason Gordon, is there an Avenger in the rally? No, there isn't an Avenger in the rally, I'm afraid, but we do have an Opel Kadett and we have a very special Datsun Violet as well. We'll come to that later on. Rekindling some Timo Salonen magic. Works car that has done these stages many times when legends were being made here in Kielder, and is back to rekindle that. In fact, they're doing a tour of the stages that that car did when it was back in Works hands, and you'll see that later. Really good story. Alan Moore enjoying the special stage coverage here from the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. Good to have you with us, Alan. Rob Ball is wishing us a good afternoon from Shrewsbury. Good to have you with us as well. Mike Reed, Ryan Purvis, hello to you. Mick Coulter. Mark Constantine reporting that Tom caused a car in stage 3. Had to follow him for 3/4 of a mile. No, they were behind because of the dust. There is a lot of dust here. Ryan Purvis telling us that he's watching by the pool in Lanzarote. All these people on sunny holidays. I tell you what, you got a month and a half between the Nicky Grist stages and the Woodpecker to go on your summer holidays and the summer recess here from the BCRDA. Why would you go mid-season? Enjoy Hope you have a fantastic time and you're enjoying having some rallying on. I bet it's better than listening to Despacito on repeat next to the pool. Listening to rally cars. Get it turned up for all your fellow holidayers. Douglas Menzies and Graham Menzies there. Absolutely flying in their Works-esque livery Mark II Escort. One of the local crews on this weekend's rally. The Cumberland and District. Well, it's not Cumberland and District, is it? Cumberland Sporting Car Club, who organised this event, do a fantastic job. I mentioned it on the earlier stream, but they've been so helpful going out of their way to make sure that we have everything we need and the event is shown the best possible light. It does make a difference. Big thank you to them. Sally Ann Banks watching from service in Hexham. Phil Jones watching from Horwich. Good to have you along, guys. Brandon Shipley watching from West Virginia. There's a song there somewhere. I won't be singing it. John Harper says it's beer o'clock watching from sunny Stony. It is beer o'clock. Just can't partake, I'm afraid. Kenny Owen is washing the dishes. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, talking about Cumberland Sporting Car Club, they've turned this rally over the years from well, it's just become an absolutely iconic event, starting way back as the Andrews Heat for Hire Cumbrian Rally, then the Shell Oils Cumbrian Rally, and then the Pirelli International Rally, as many of you may remember this rally. Stages that have seen winners such as Ari Vatanen, Colin McRae, Mark Higgins, Guy Wilkes, Gwyndaf Evans. All the greats have rallied here in Kielder on these stages. Many of them on this very rally in its various incarnations over the years. So this club knows how to put a rally on, and big shout out to all of them, the organisers, the volunteers, the marshals, the officials, everybody out there, and the sponsors as well. SG Petch for one, who have sponsored the event yet again here. Brandon Shipley's glad that I know that song. Still won't be singing it. Producer Wayne might sing it later. By the way, this behind-the-scenes documentary, that sounds very grand, doesn't it, that we're filming while we're here on the Kielder Forest Rally today. Bit of a look behind the scenes at what goes on when we're filming Rally TV, and it's a bit of fun as well. And I have to report, this is actually an exclusive. This is a scoop. Get it in your headlines. Producer Wayne makes his, is it your debut appearance on Special Stage, producer? I don't think you've actually been on the camera on Special Stage before, have you, in the last 15 years of Rally TV? I really don't think you have.
No, I don't think so.
No, producer Wayne makes his Special Stage debut in the behind-the-scenes feature that we've been filming this weekend, so do look out for that. We'll put it out sometime after this event. I'll just give you a bit of a flavour as to what goes on, because a lot's changed in that time. And the biggest thing that remains, the thing that's stayed constant throughout, from the days when we used to turn up and sleep in our cars doing this as a hobby, to the days when now we're very lucky to do it professionally, is that the passion is still there. We still get the chills when the marshal's whistles blow, first signs of dust in the air, smoke in the air, smoke in the air, and the rally car comes bursting into view. The more sideways the better, the more sideways the more chills. So do look out for that behind the scenes feature. I love that producer Wayne has made his Special Stage debut. It's only taken him 15 years. Emma Morrison's cleaning the house instead of writing her uni assignment. What are you studying, Emma? And more to the point, why are you not in a rally car? It's very unusual to come to a rally, and Emma Morrison and Charlotte Wainwright, actually. Charlotte Wainwright's never not in a rally car on one of these rallies. So a couple of ladies who I was expecting to see on this entry list who seem to be doing very boring things instead. Andrew Shufflebotham is watching from sunny Stoke-on-Trent in October. Marcel Freely and Karen Robinson, who joined us in that last stage, by the way, former BTRDA 1400 Bronze Star competitors, you may remember, in their MGZR. They've actually got an MG3 now, which you should hopefully see them back out in sometime soon. They're actually watching from the pub. I almost joined them, except they were going to go watch the rugby. And I don't want to upset anybody, but I'd rather put red hot Doritos in my eyes. I put red hot Doritos in my mouth earlier, which was the worst possible thing to eat for lunch when we've been out here on a very dusty, hot rally stage. Anyway, enough about me. Actually, no, a little bit more about me, because this is my old rally car, my first rally car. Simon Major's Ford KA Challenge winning car, which Paul Alexander had after us, and my brother Mike and Tom Hutchins and I competed in. Ian Holliday, Jane Wright, having a ball in that challenge spec Ford KA. Absolutely loved that car. It's great to see it back out. And my oldest, Mason, is here, and he doesn't remember that car. He remembers the one after it. What a great car that was. Is Alex Holliday latterly competed in that, and unfortunately isn't able to at the moment, but there's Ian Holliday making the most of that pushrod 1300 engine that the car still has in it. Jamie Ganley on the second camera, by the way, here. We've got two cameras once again. Because of the timings, because the dust is hanging in the air and the organisers took the sensible option to knock the cars back to 2-minute gaps, the timings were a bit shorter than we were anticipating, so we had less of a break to get set up, and I wasn't sure we were going to get the second camera running. So fair play to producer Wayne and Jamie Ganley for walking literally miles and getting everything set up and linking those cameras back together. Nick Watley, sounds like you're having fun. Won't be reading that out. Brandon Shipley, you can't call it a race, mate. It's a rally. This is in Kielder in Northumberland, in the north of England. And remarkably, this could change things, not only for the rally, but also for our TV coverage, because we weren't prepared for it at all. We've got rain. Spots of rain. None of the crews will be expecting rain. They're all lined up, ready to start these stages on dry tyres. Well, don't know, maybe they have got rain. Maybe they were expecting rain, I don't know. Luluwe Daka Lufor watching from Southern Africa in Zambai. Good to have you with us. Alan Young there, with Ashley Young alongside, with a very poorly sounding Mark II Escort, actually. Sounded really well through the first stage of the day. This fourth stage sounds like it's struggling. It's put in a hard shift by the sounds of it. I don't know whether that was a misfire or just an exhaust problem. As much as the rain is slightly pleasant, we may have some technical issues, just to pre-warn you, because if it suddenly comes in heavy, we haven't got any rain gear on the camera equipment. However, we do have umbrellas, which could be very useful. Talking of MG3s, here's Tom Constantine. We mentioned them a minute ago. Marty's dad, watching from Tenerife by the pool and updating us. I think got caught behind a car in the last stage. Tony Walker alongside. We do need to see more of those MG3s out. Cracking rally cars and a really good idea for a single mate challenge. Philip Edwards, along with Antoinette, doing the decorating, cheering on Rhys Edwards, who's co-driving for Lewis Hooper, who you'll see from shortly in that giant killing, hard-charging Rally First Micra. Philip Woolgar, another member of the Hexham Service Park Massive, waiting for James Rudd and Oliver Foster in the Micra. So are we. Hello to Florence Butler, Gerald Watkins, Chloe Donegan. She's watching from their holiday in Tregaron. Is that how you say that? Team Ashley Adams. Dan Elmore, welcome to you. Nathan Shaw's watching from Anglesey. It's starting to rain here in the north of England. I dread to think what it's like on Anglesey. Is the weather ever nice on Anglesey?
It was nice last week.
Was it nice last week?
Yeah, it was nice last week. Nice and sunny.
That's producer Wayne. A man who, if you've only just tuned in and you didn't hear us talking about this behind-the-scenes feature we're filming this weekend, I'm pleased to say makes his debut here on Special Stage. on this behind the scenes feature that we're filming this weekend. Here we go then, Luke Watts, Matt Rogers in the MGZR. Sixth overall in the Bronze Star, coming into this fourth stage of the day. 18 seconds to make up on Ashley Francis Adams and Lucy Wilding in the micro up ahead if they want to overhaul that fifth place. They've got a bit of a buffer of 26 seconds back to Will Banks and Sean Hughes though. Someone was asking about an Avenger earlier. Forgive me, I can't remember who it was asked about the Avenger. No Avengers, but we do have a glorious Opel Cadet, and you're about to see it as well. Nick Welch, Ben Welch. Only other rally they've done this year has been on tarmac. It was the, oh, I should say asphalt. If Paul Morris is listening to this, I'll be in trouble calling it tarmac. The opening round of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, the East Riding Stages. They're from Beverley, so it makes sense. And they've made the trip out here in really stunning looking Opel Cadet. Look out for that. It's up very soon. Should actually be up next, but we've got a bit of a change around in the running order so far. Still waiting for James Rudd and Oliver Foster through, I think, aren't we? Unless I was too busy talking and missed them. I don't think I was. If you're just tuning in, welcome to our special stage live coverage of the fourth round of the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship. It's the Kielder Forest Rally, and this is the fourth stage of the day. We're going to be live for the whole entry through this Yarrow Moor, the second running of this stage. Muckledod Hill is up to next, and then in the second stage of the loop is stage 5, and then stage 6. The last stage of the day, Shepherd's Shield. 6.9, shade under 7 miles the next stage, just under 6.5 miles the final one. This one is 7.5 miles, and we're about just over 4 miles into this stage from the start. It's rough in places, I've got to say, but rough because of the style of rock. There's a lot of regraded areas which are a little bit loose, as you see that glorious Cadet. How good does that look and sound, kicking up the dust? Quite a creative job done by the organisers, Cumberland Sporting Car Club, this weekend. A few parts of these stages that haven't seen the light of day, certainly haven't seen any rally traffic for a lot of years. Perhaps last used in the Lombard and Network Q RAC rally days, perhaps. And they've done a good job as well of avoiding the areas that perhaps last year didn't enamour the crews. As always, you come out of the blocks in a new event in the championship, and sometimes you end up not quite pleasing everybody, but the organisers really adapting as they go and doing their best to be creative with the route. So well done to them for that. So far, good feedback from the competitors. Great action here on this live coverage. I hope you'll agree. I know, listening to some of your comments at home, you do agree, which is great. Emma Morrison's doing a Bachelor of Science in Leading and Innovation. Wow. Still working full-time and doing all the rally competing. No gravel rallies at the moment though. Charlie Barlow's Toyota Auris gearbox isn't ready yet. Be interesting to see that. Toyota Auris, the R5 spec car. Or is it? No, it's an S2000 spec car, isn't it? Be interesting to see that out. We've lost the spots of rain and we've gained some midges, which is lovely. Come to this neck of the woods, you're always going to get some midges. The last round of the series, the Border Counties Rally in Jedburgh, not too far from where we are here in Northumberland. Next up, though, we're over in Wales for the Nicky Grist stages. Again, back to the Royal Welsh Showground in Bilth. And the summer break, and we're back out in action in September for the Woodpecker stages. in Ludlow. Then it's Track Rod Rally Yorkshire time in my neck of the woods, based around the Yorkshire coast into the classic Yorkshire forests in North Yorkshire. And then we're back for our now customary season finale. Started being the opener for a while, didn't it? We're back to season finale for the Visit Conwy Llandudno Rally, the Cambrian. And there on the seafront, all the drama of the BCRDA yet to unfold. We come here with just 4 points separating Elliot Payne and Aaron Newby out in front, challenging for the Gold Star title. Reigning champion versus new pretender to the throne. First time Aaron Newby and Jamie Edwards have done a full season here in the BTRDA. And just 1 second back between them and Russ Thompson. And only a couple of points, seconds, points back to Matthew Hurst and Declan Deere. Fourth place so far in today's Bronze Star category overall. 20 seconds back from that Rally First Micra of Lewis Hooper. That's Paddy Homan and Tom Homan in the hard-charging Ford Puma. Started their season on asphalt for the East Riding stages rather than opting for the snow and drama of the Malcolm Wilson Rally, so dropped a score to start with. But a 5th and a 4th place in the Bronze Star category and a 2nd and a 3rd respectively in the 1400S leaves them with 4th place in the Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star Series, their current points position. If you joined us for the first stage and you saw the unfortunate accident for the Fiesta R2 of Alfie Hammond, Phil Boyle, I'm pleased to say that pair out of the car and absolutely fine. The car took a bit of a beating, barrel rolling off the road in front of our cameras, and luckily landing the right way up and just stopping before the tree. But a notable retirement at this stage from the R2 Rally Cup. Matthew Hurst, Declan Deere lead the way overall on today's Kielder Forest Rally, then 20 seconds ahead of Elliot Payne and Tom Woodburn. Then it's Aaron Newby, Jamie Edwards just a second back. Alistair Ginley, Craig Thorley 5 back from them. Russ Thompson, Stephen Link still within a shout, surely, of a podium finish here, 9 seconds back. Then it's Stephen Petch, Michael Wilkinson, our 2017 BTRDA Gold Star champions back in 6th place. Eddie Lewis, Boyd Kershaw. Remarkable performance from him in that Silver Star lead in the first of our two-wheel drive cars, and that Escort in 8th. Trevor Gamble, 9th. Robert Goff, another two-wheel drive car inside the top 10, rounding out our top 10 at this stage. And there is Lewis Hooper and Rhys Edwards, a car that you often forget is a Rally First spec car. Bit of a big impact for them on the Border Counties Rally. A rare mistake, actually, last time out. They bounced back from that. Quite literally bounced back from that. And there was an excited post. Excited and probably relieved by equal measure. Earlier in the week from Lewis, having got the car prepared and ready to get back out here on the stages. So remarkably, after that DNF last time out, not missing any rallies, managing to get the car rebuilt and looking brand new again, I have to say, having seen the pictures on Facebook and seen it here at the rally, and going just as well. Leading Rally First, as you might expect, from 3rd place on the overall Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star category leaderboard. Currently in the point standings, our 3rd Bronze Star competitor, Lewis Hooper. 3rd place in the overall Bronze Star leaderboard in the championship in a Rally First car. It's a feat that we might have got used to now, because these performances are now not unusual, but it's one that never becomes any less impressive. Hello to Jack Morton, who's joined us on the live coverage. Alex Holiday joining us as well. Good to have you with us, mate. That Ford KA looking stunning and going well here. There's Ashley Francis-Adams and Lucy Wilding. Another good performance from them. 5th place so far in the overall Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star category after 3 stages. 5 seconds behind that Puma that we saw just now, the Paddy Homan, Tom Homan car. It's a good bit of stage, this. Nice and flowing. Another couple of miles on from where we were in the first stage of the day. Still in the Yarrow Moor stage, where we were for the first stage, but in a completely different location, having managed to, despite a shortened break in between the stages, thanks to the 2-minute intervals between cars now, managed to still get our 2 cameras linked up. Hello to Nick Kitchen. Stephen Butler wants to know how Elliot Payne is getting on. Well, he's not getting on too badly. 2nd place so far. 20 seconds, though, off Matthew Hurst and Declan Deere, who didn't come here last year because Dec was getting married to our special stage presenter, Gemma. But those two are on a charge here, showing what might have been. Of course, Elliot Payne was fastest on the first 3 stages on last year's event. He hasn't got it all his own way today. Aaron Newby, Jamie Edwards just a second behind coming into this 4th stage of the day. So the battle will well and truly be on. You have to say that. Chris and James Greenall, the front of that Nova, pointing skyward. The back suspension perhaps a little softer than you'd expect, but it's working. A comfort margin of 44 seconds, keeping them in that 2nd place. But an equally sizable gap to the ever hard-charging Nigel and Kaz Jenkins up ahead in a similar Nova. 27 seconds the lead in the Bronze Star overall at this stage. Couple of cars to go, and I am determined to get Tim Pearcey and Liam Whiteley through this stage. This time having cut off a bit earlier than we thought last time. And to remind you, we'll then stop this 1400 and historic stream and we'll be straight on with the main field with the gold and silver star competitors. Don't forget to click the link to be notified whenever special stage goes live. Got plenty more live coverage coming up for you throughout this year. Not only every round of the MRF Tyres BTRDA Rally Championship streamed live from the stages, but also the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, the Welsh Championship, and various other events in between as well. It's Argyle next weekend, a little further north from here. In fact, produce away, may as well set up camp here in the north of England for the next couple of weeks. Dave Forrest, Jamie Forrest, powering that Mark II into view. Just ahead, as we saw on Kaz Jenkins' Facebook post, of the Green Nova that is currently leading the Bronze Star. Dave and Jamie not featuring in the BTRDA points, which they really should. If you're watching this back, guys, you really should get yourselves a championship entry. You join us on most rounds. We have some pretty good results in that Strasser Porsche Mark II Escort. We're looking out then for that leading, and I say leading, not only leading the rally by 27 seconds, but also leading the Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star points on the leaderboard as the battle for the title goes into its 4th round here at the Kielder Forest Rally. 3 first overall category victories so far this season. The Malcolm Wilson Rally, the Rally Nut Stages, and the Border Counties Rally. 3 very different rallies. And here's your 4th. Looking for a 4th win on the board. Be a fairly ominous leaderboard for anybody hoping to fight them for the title in 2023, wouldn't it, if they managed to get another one on the board? Sounds like we might have Ernie Graham and Karen Graham firing into view shortly. Of course, they started the season at the Rally Nut Stages in a 1400 Escort. It's now got a 1600 in there. No, that is the Nova. The road position is correct. Should have known that bark, shouldn't I? The NJ Auto Repairs livery. Stark against the tree line here in this 4th stage of the day. Had a couple of rough sounding rallies where the car sounded like it needed a bit of TLC earlier in the season, but they are back firing on all cylinders. That thing sounds so strong, doesn't it? 27 seconds in the lead of the Fuchs Lubricants Bronze Star category at this stage then. 13 stage miles to go once they make it out of this 4th stage of the day. Yarrow Moor. Muckle Dodd Hill. Shepherd's Shield up next. Just under 7 miles the first of those. Just under 6.5 the second. To finish things off before the finish back at Hexham Auto. Oh, I keep saying Hexham Auto Mart. Hexham Auction Mart. In the town of Hexham. Beautiful town for those of you watching out of town, out of the country, from other places in the world. If you ever get a chance to come to the UK, Hadrian's Wall. I think you can see that from space, or am I thinking of the Great Wall of China?
It's the Great Wall of China.
Are you sure it's the Great Wall? Yeah, okay. It's a bit like Hadrian's Wall, but it's in China, and I think it's maybe a little bit bigger. But Hadrian's Wall is historically significant all the same. Pretty sure you can see Hadrian's Wall from space, producer Wayne. He's looking very confident. He's clearly been. Ernie Graham, Karen Graham bursting into view then. Love the colour scheme on that Mark 1. It's very Uniflow, isn't it? And indeed, in 1972, 51 years ago, that Uniflow Mark 1 Escort with a livery not unlike that one took Roger Clark to victory into the British Championship for Ford. Roger Clark among many, many legendary names who have made these forests famous and whose stories and seat of your pants antics sort of hang in the air here. A bit like a story that was once told and really could do with being told again. Tim Piercy, Liam Whiteley then should be joining us very shortly. The car's running at 2-minute intervals, which means you get more of me. Aren't you lucky? This afternoon. And then we will have the Gold Star and Silver Star field through in correct seeded order. Alistair Conlon's watching from Ludlow. Kenny Owen is enjoying watching Ernie there. His advice, keep her lit. Ford RS is watching from North Kielder. No rain for weeks in the forest. Always wants to build another car when he watches the rally. Time yet. Time yet indeed, but there's no time like the present. Ravenel UK joining us on the stream. Thanks, guys. Great coverage, special stage. Lots of action-packed shots. Some great shots, actually. Fair play to Wayne and the team for getting us set up so quickly, given the shorter setup time in between the stages. But Andy Smith, the deputy clerk of the course, who's been sending us photos of the various locations and giving us some advice on where he thinks we'd be best going, has been really welcome. So a big thank you to Andy and the rest of the organisers as well. Okay, well, that's a bit of a relief. Because we were missing Dylan Fowler Bishop and Richard Jordan, weren't we, in that micra? No longer are we missing them. They were just a little further back on the road section. Perhaps hadn't finished their barbecue in service. Jack Griffiths can't wait for the Nicky Grist. It'd be good to get back out.
He said Tim Pearce is retired.
And I think we have had our last car through because Tim Pearcey appears on the retirements list here on the Kielder Forest Rally. So that's it for the third stream of the day. We're going to be back live in just a few minutes' time, ready to see our overall championship title protagonist battle it out. And we're talking a real battle as well. Just seconds in it here with 3 more stages to go. See the first of those, Yarrow Moor, in just a few minutes' time. Elliot Payne in that Mango Go Fiesta will be bursting onto your screens very shortly.